Yo, what's going on? We back with it. Today we'll be talking about the tales or whatnot and the oral assignment that we gotta do. The tale that I used was the sun and the moon live in the sky. So let's get into it. Basically, it's a history tale. It's a Nigerian folk tale. Essentially, the story just explains why the sun and the moon ended up in the sky instead of living on what we like to know as Earth. In this story, the sun and his wife and the moon invite their friend Water over, and Water arrives. It's kind of interesting, actually. He brings so many sea creatures that their households fills up, forcing them to move into the sky. This tale reflects cultural values like hospitalities, consequence of actions, and explanations of nature, to be honest. Um, Sorry. The journal article that I read basically discussed how the oral histories are used to understand the past and the past traditions. It explained the oral histories and how stories are passed down by the word of mouth, basically the word of this video, essentially. Often across generations, they can provide insight into people's beliefs, traditions, and daily lives, even the daily year. One thing that is useful about the oral histories when writing about it is that they give us perspectives that essentially may not be written down anywhere else. For example, in the folk tale, we learn about how people in Nigerian culture explain natural pneumonia like the sun and the moon. Oral histories can also preserve cultural identity like values, especially in societies where written records were not always kept. You feel me? So, let's move it on some. Let's get carried. So, basically, all the things that I just said to recap before I get into the second part. Essentially, this story is talking about how the sun and the moon invited Water in. It's basically essentially like inviting somebody into your house or into your life that may necessarily not need to be there or needs to be there. They lifted them up to the sky. Our main goal in life is to constantly move up. So water was essentially help in this form. At the end of the day, when it says connects to life, water is one of the healthiest things that we can put in our body. So like that's kind of the connection piece and really my understanding of like what I've read today, to be honest. So I'm gonna get into the second part. So basically, there are some limitations to using only oral histories. One major issue is that they can change over time with life, obviously. Since stories are passed down verbally, details might be added, forgotten, or altered. That's normal. In the case of the sun and the moon story, it's not meant to be a factual explanation, but rather a myth. So it may be historically accurate. This shows how oral histories can sometimes reflect beliefs more than actual events, basically. So to make these more reliable, historians can support them with other types of evidence, for example, written documents, artifacts, archaeological findings, and scientific data can help us confirm or challenge what has been told out through these stories and everything. If we were studying a real historical event right now today, we might compare the oral accounts with physical evidence or records to get a clearer picture. Basically, I don't want to bring politics, but I mean, I feel like the biggest politic thing that right now everybody's constantly talks about is the Epstein files and whatnot. And essentially, if we were to study those, we need physical evidence or records to get a clearer picture. And like, it's almost people are talking about something that like we like to think that we know, but we necessarily don't know because we don't have the full proof. So in conclusion of the oral histories and the values and everything, because they preserve culture and provide a unique perspective, they should be used carefully and supported with other sources to ensure the accuracy and the literacy of everything is proven to be factual. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this video.